Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LPL 2025 Split 2.
Very different generations of LPL top laners still competing at the top level.
There's a Kyle, no flash. Oh, that's a problem.
Winter Spike lands, Permafrost passive comes on down, crashes down, has got no flash to work with. Another Permafrost comes on down, combined with the concussive blows. You can see why the Sejuani Prime is dangerous. Flash on board from on, gets the passive auto, lands a Winter Spike. The slow's coming on down, double passives being stacked, but neither fully procs. Exhaust onto Bin as the needles come flying on through. Flandre doesn't hit as many of those as I think he was hoping. Fine lands another. The Electro Harpoon, flash on forward from Bin, trying to get some more damage onto Flandre. Missed the second Harpoon though. Can he land another now? How long until the Hallowed Mist? Flandre just about safe.
Bin, if he hits what hit, will at least clear the ward on his way out.
A little bit of a lane swap coming on through while the Dragons being taken, trying to get themselves out of the lane that has started to get a little dicey there and take the opportunity to have some priority and set up around the Grub spawning in about 45 seconds. It's been a bit of an interesting set of plays. The Gwen about to come collapsing, Basua Elkin on. Red buff secure, Glacial Prison, and Tarzan. Oh, Tarzan, not another finals where this kind of thing happens. Elk steps on board for the turnaround. Tarzan goes down, Elk low, TP in, needs to find a way out the back end of the Cullen coming on down, but I don't think he has a way to escape too, as they lose another. The double shattering strike, the mount up, and anyone's legend punish.
And Knight pulls the teleport button, but he's too late to impact the play. It's not 10 minutes yet. BLG, they live and die. Knight doing okay in this individual matchup too, you know, even in CS. Dragon started, melee synergy with Sejuani Braum helping. Here come the teleports.
Multiple ones, we've got a fight brewing. The storm clouds above this files come on in. It's a magnetic version of him, and they blow up Elk again. He's roadkill. Continue to hunt for some more. Flandre here, and the needles come on through. It's an acupuncture session from hell as Beitwan is bacon. A wonderful fight from anyone's legend.
BLG fall prey to Shanks in his second finals back-to-back. His Aurora in the early game. Level 11. It's really good for him to get that second level out of that ultimate before Flandre as well. Potentially they could look for a pick, but Bin might be the one who's out of it order first.
Gets flash queued into the cease and desist. The equalizer's just on the wave, and he is dead to rights.
Teleport in. Tarzan did use flash and ultimate, but losing.
So far, their engages have been very good, and their carries have gratefully received the setup.
And credit to On. I think On's been doing a good job on the Braum. I don't think Beitwan's been bad either. I just think that BLG on the whole haven't been in the right place. They are getting towards potentially a soul point very early, though.
Flandre back of the pit isn't going to be on vision. Then comes the Permafrost trying to stack that one down. It's taken by Gwen! Equalizer coming on down. They're getting a lot of work done. Elk throws out a few autos, but Beitwan trying to jump away. And in the end, anyone's actually get the Dragon and 2 kills. Bin now running away, about to be put into his namesake until he flashes away. The collection day another time around.
Flandre, you monster, gets into the back of the pit, into the Ocean Rift bush. BLG, which all he does, he's doing that Spirit Cleave for the last minion, but after that point he's like, well, I've had to use my ultimate, that's a bit annoying. Good play from Tarzan to use that Fog of War. Again, anyone's legend playing much better.
Several times this series and last series just by good warding, making angles much more challenging than they need to be. Tarzan again in the bush, not spotted, and can be on a very dangerous angle.
Still a level up on Beitwan, who's had to drop some farm as Zale have gone into their jungle. They're trying to find some vision call. Good combo by Shanks.
Potentially stepping forwards, but Shanks gets out of save between worlds. The turnaround is brutal. Equalizer solid enough. Shot the shield coming on through for the locket. Back end though. Tarzan, Flandre, so deadly. Needles galore. It is absolute witchcraft as Elk is trying, but he finally goes down. They can't bring it as Knight misses the fate sealed. All he finds at the end of that skein of fate is the scissors that cut them.
It's actually not that bad a fight for BLG comparative. They get a 3 for 2, and Knight manages to tag on to Shanks, so a lot of the damage goes down. AL still win the fight, jump him right back. And BLG managed to get Shanks down. However, there aren't enough HP bars for them to contest the objective. Atacam will go down, Dragon will go down, least on life, and this is exactly what happened the last time that anyone's legend played against BLG. Was BLG couldn't win hard enough individually to make up for the difference in plays. Q cancelled.
Into the fate sealed, looking to bring down Tarzan, but he's just so damn tanky. They're getting out to safety, finally bringing to turn it around as Kyle misses the mantle on the other side, but it means that Elk and Bin not in the fight right now. Should finally bring low Tarzan, done so. Elk though, traded back. Hope also low though, burning out for the equalizer, not quite in range as Beitwan blocked from getting over there by Kyle. All the while trying to Arctic Assault into the Baron pit, trying to buy some time. Knight, low, has got a Q stack, may need to run a bit further. Twofold hex goes wide, Immortal Shield, bow proc, gets a Spirit Cleave. Weirding comes on down. Knight will not be able to run anywhere as Shanks will eventually secure that kill.
BLG get a pick onto Tarzan, but they can't kill him quick enough. BLG don't have enough damage to make these quick picks, and a recall cancel onto Beitwan, maybe we'll see him into the death screen as well. It's not much he's been able to do this game. He'll go down, and anyone's legend, despite losing Tarzan, walk away with a 4-kill fight.
Now they get to
1 and 6 ended up on that scoreline and really struggled. With Elk doing no damage, BLG looked like they're so toothless in the longer fights.
Back to life we go. Elk unable to get over that fight. And that time it cost him a lot on. Likely to go down here. Not a lot that he can do. Beitron backs away. Tarzan, Vault Breaker forwards. He's certainly not backing away. Beitron trying to survive. The equalizer is solid. Beitron surviving. Kyle, though, he's just about to survive as finally hope brings low the Sejuani. Tarzan again stepping on forward tonight. Has to ult away. That gives room to cease and desist onto Elk, who can't get out to safety. Knight unbinds his soul, but permanently. Now Bin caught under his own tier 3. Zombies for a moment. Bin buys time, but I don't think it'll buy much time in the grand scheme of things. He'll leave the lane, but all the while, anyone's legend maraud through mid lane. Onto the Nexus turret. Blink, can you miss it? Game 1 is anyone's legends.
Anyone's legend, a full team diff for them across BLG. Much better at vision control, much better.
Pantheon on the rise and everyone else coming for her skull. Hope want to run alongside it. He will go towards that Jhin that is so high priority right now.
It's good
lane. About when that spawns, he sells himself up some success. Bin really wants to get this wave shot, but would have theoretically had to be a bit wary as a dive. Potentially happening bot. There is no hope here quite yet. And that means that Kyle needs to flash away. In comes the deadly flourish, though. And he's going to turn it around. Beitron needs to get the kill. No, Elk, not you as well. Oh, no.
BLG used to be the best bot lane diving team in the world. And now they have messed it up for the nth time as Shag solo kills Knight in the mid lane. Beitron and River, though. Kyle doesn't have flashes now. Potentially, Beitron could look for a fight.
Nice dodge. Jensen onto Kyle before the upshot comes on down, but over comes the deadly flourish that is just wide. Raveled Earth now down. Flandre coming, could potentially ult in.
And Elk is not walking up to the play. BLG, once again, playing with fire around these objectives. AL know where the fight is coming a little sooner. Silence coming down now.
Knight does have flash, will burn it. Now Flandre does get shoved back, get shoved into the wall after, but the hook after. A little bit of damage now onto Poppy, who may need to back away.
Wow.
We do get the kill, it's a 1-for-1, but that's the jungler dead on one side, it's on. So low, will not die to the zombie of Sion.
That's just a Knight till it. He did, but still. Good play from BLG to get something on the one, and maybe the blocking the Jhin W there, actually. Look, I'll heal up with a Bloodthirster. Walking forwards again, getting that slow. Flandre is now walking down the river. Beitron will spot Tarzan. Tarzan holds his W.
Tries to buy some time, and in comes the curtain call. Beitron should be okay here, I think. The hook goes wide as it's flashed away from. Public Execution also has to be flashed from, as well as Shag's going to flash out of the rumble. In comes Flandre with the ultimate, trying to find an angle. The Keeper's Verdict, the Weaver's Wall, everyone's assembling. Ondo is left out to dry, the first member to fall. Bit into the backline, makes it a trade. Tarzan into the backline. Beitron now in danger, but shuts him into the wall. Wonderful heroic charge. A 4v3. Flandre trying to buy some space. The health bar's a little bit dicey on both sides.
BLG turn up to the early fight and actually win it this time just about. I think it was. And yeah, the big ultimate is the bullet time. Nothing else available.
Goes the Zenith Blade on trying to start things off. Decimating Flash comes on down. Pins here, and that means Kyle is just I was going to try and make that one a
KO'd.
KO'd. That's exactly
Kyle
the phrase I was looking
KO'd
for.
as he goes down for the second time in as many minutes. BLG, the blue side aura. Should they be winning with this comp at the game? I don't see how it's any different from the last side of it, besides that global. BLG just getting that more precision in their initial foray into the fight. Pantheon. But their follow-up damage is not as ahead as it was last game.
There's a lot of ways for BLG to slip past the front line. Keeper's Verdict, Weaver's Wall, Ambassador Ultimates, Leona. Lots of things that make it quite tricky. Speaking of, there's the Solar Flare. And sometimes you can just blow up the front line, especially when it's fake front line like Nautilus. Elk gets the kill, 2-1 and 3, shoved back onto Tarzan. Beitron can't quite get the stun, but does land the Keeper's Verdict knocker. Beitron needs to run away with the phase run. In comes Sion. Beitron going to go down as they begin to turn this one around. On finds a Zenith Blade. The curtain's being called, Knight looking for angles, and BLG have overplayed this one. Elk executed by the curtain call.
Beitron can't get the wall stun, and it means that anyone's legend can turn around onto the Poppy, who's then BLG walk away bloodied.
Their best moment, but they've still got the opportunity to drop the Herald in mid lane after the reset. All of those globals being down means the reset options and engage options pretty limited. Good steadfast presence, presently engaged. Here comes the Grand Starfall, looking to turn this one around. Flash on forward, shunt away. Blow up Beitron, but Tarzan throws at the Aegis Assault. No cleanse on Elk, means he has to flash over the wall. Flash for the depth charge. Elk goes up into the sky. Flash over from Hope, means that he goes down as well. Wonderful set of picks from anyone's legend.
And while all this is happening, BLG don't even kill the mid lane outer turret. They're not in position for the Tarzan ultimate to rip their battle lines apart. And once again, Elk goes down without using his ultimate. A W flashed away from Knight as he's just trying to pick up the pieces of the mistakes of his teammates. Elk out of position, Bin not teleporting into the play, not thinking it was worthwhile. Anyone's Legend off the back of Tarzan's ultimate and Shanks as well. Don't think this game is the fault of Knight, and I think Knight is playing well. Shanks is using his power very effectively. Knight, I think, just looking at his team, the setup for the objectives, trying to see what he can do. Teleports in. BLG want to fight.
Bin's behind, looking to turn around. Big knock-up, though, and the front line is just split off. Does not rest of BLG here until just now. The bullet time finally comes on out. Hope just about survives. It's been caught up between multiple members. In comes Knight, trying to find his way to Hope, and misses. Finally gets the threaded volley and gets that pick. The Weaver's Wall did coming on down. They got the Dragon all the while. Beige1 can't get out of the pit. Elk tries to find an auto or two out, but will finally go down at the back end of it. Knight in a 1v1 with Shanks, but he's got a Seraph shield, and the decimating smash from across the water alongside the Comet Spear helps bring him down.
Anyone's Legend find a moment to take a fight where Elk is out of position again. Elk having a poor final so far between the Lucian and the Misfortune is being picked up by Anyone's Legend, particularly Shanks. Tarzan and things are happening in topside. Shanks doesn't, and the Rod of Ages giving him an extra level is really becoming problematic. And here comes the Realm War.
Gonna try and play this to get the Keeper's Verdict, which isn't bad. Now Shanks potentially in danger. Shoved into the Solar Flare. Nice angle. He might be level 60, but I don't know whether he's a 3v1 champion quite yet. Flash over the wall from Knight, but he starts missing the threaded volley. Finally throws on a second set of him. Will finally get a bit more, but he's going to not get the kill until just now. Flash on forward with a shield bolt. Brings him down. They're going to try and turn for out. Turns up, and there's a dead line, a depth charge, and a very dead Misfortune. Meets the wrong end of the diving lines as a triple kill comes on into Hope.
Anyone's Legend with the double globals piss the heart of BLG. The early skirmishes at the start of the game look good for BLG, but time after time, Tarzan and Shanks
and then Elf finally turns up, and it's too late.
You know, when you get the Rise passive and the phase rush is so fast, On's caught out again, Shanks will kill him.
Nowhere really to run. Beige1 as well now caught up the lane. I think they were trying to help get some shove for the side of Beige1 and the rest of the lane as they're going to get Bin out at the very least. He retreats. Beige1's trying to run, but Where has got a flash, so you think he's going to need to be able to burn it. With a wonderful drift. Beige1's still really fast for the Dead Man's Plate, though. He's running really, really quick. Dun, 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 dun. Gonna try and get out of here as fast as he can. Mission impossible. Where can he get to? Better keep going through the jungle. Over comes Kyle. He's still really quick. I think he can just keep going.
And much like the Mission Impossible theme tune, he wished he was 5'4", sadly 2'6", mainly going towards 2'7". Misses the ultimate, but Kyle also misses the hook.
Lands the depth charge. Is it going to be enough?
No, the Pantheon ult's coming in now. It's just coming off cooldown. Here comes Knight.
Another depth charge. The Deadly Flourish buying some time. The Weaver's Wall comes on down. Flash on out. The Ignite on him, but he gets out to safety. Multiple ults to Beige1. Roams all the way from by his own gromp, round the map in a circumference, and gets out alive.
It's just a Yordle with a hammer and apparently a V8 engine. Gets out to safety as Anyone's Legend can't close him down, but it doesn't make this a good play for BLG. Dragon goes over to Anyone's Legend. Bin will use the 3 grubs on top side to get themselves a tower there, so it is something, I suppose, but Anyone's Legend a step ahead. They're getting themselves much closer to big plays. Flashed in range for the W2, which doesn't lead to the kill. Now that's something which BLG... On with the golden pocket now. He must do something to bring BLG back into parity.
Going for a very aggressive build here, so I was going for the last Whisper item completion. Third, really wants to be able to threaten this Scion, threaten the armor builders. Turn this around as in goes Kyle. Realm Warp behind. In comes the Grand Starfall. Another wonderful flanking engagement. Elk's trying to run cleanse, but to where? He can't keep walking away. Bloodthirst healing not enough. Finally, Bin comes Bin. Shanks goes golden. Deadly Flourish roots him in place. Try to turn this one around. Bin needs to get battle with Beige1 back to it, but they've already lost their mid and bot lane. Flandre holding the front line as this massive bulwark, a titan of HP, as Hope zeroes in on another kill.
And Bin doesn't even pull the ultimate. Elk doesn't even pull the ultimate. BLG rooting the Misfortune. The bullet time has never been a problem for them. Anyone's Legend coming in through the over. This could be a historic moment for a team that will go down in history from the LPL as one of their representatives.
You have a 3.5 item, level 18 Rise. He is a monster. Something about a Doomby CS hack out there on the rise. In comes the Solar Flare. Bullet time is good. Maybe this is a moment. Kyle flashes out. Shanks goes golden. A multi-man depth charge buys some time. In comes the curtain call. They finally ping off Shanks. Elk's body blocking for his members. Will not be able to get away to the Weaver's Wall. Interrupts Hope's ult. Trying to get the foot shot. It's just a regular one, and it puts people up. In comes Flandre, find an angle. Elk just about to move, but a flash of forward of the shield fall. Decimating smash. Bin into the back line, finally brings down at least the AD carry.
Bin missed his ult in the play too. It's just a lot of people stood in front of him, and he misses that crucial public execution. BLG get a great play from Knight and Elk in the CC, but they don't have the gold, and Bin misplays in one of his most important... from him too, between this and the Rumble.
Tarzan, lethal at the back end of that, managing to stun up Elk, who was desperately trying to heal up under the turret, gets some value, gets the red buff here. Keeper's verdict about to come on down, knocks 2 away. Tarzan immediately cleansed out.
Bin misses again!
Bin missed again. The only thing public is the humiliation. Tarzan in danger. Bullet time, great angle, blows up Shanks. Finally is beginning to work on through. The curtain call, though, is still absolutely lethal from Hope. Going to get some damage down, doesn't quite kill off the people they're hoping for. Maybe not as lethal as I thought it might be. Flandre survives. Still a wonderful kill
back
for
into
BLG.
the game, but they can't stick around to contest the Dragon. AL, despite losing Shanks twice in the last 2 fights due to the good shoves from Knight, cannot get themselves the objective afterwards. Third Dragon for AL. The way they shut down Knight by continually forcing him to drop waves is so crucial. But can that be the game breaker? Bin now at 4 items, 2,000 gold ahead. He's not been the game changer so far. Again, he has such a large amount of resources given to him. Can he make that into something? W lands.
Trying to face check to keep his verdict interrupted. Base one can't run away. Doesn't have the flash. The bullet time, though, at least gets one. Flandre going on forward. Weaver's Wall can't quite trap him in the play.
1 for 1. Support for jungle, but the jungler being down with Dragon spawning in 20 seconds does pause BLG for a little while. Lots of ultimates used from BLG, not from anyone's legend, though, on the other side. They didn't even use the depth charge. Flick back. Bin. Oh, he's walked too far forward. He's walked to Tarzan and Shanks. Bin!
The Rune Prison and the deadly flourish. He goes down. That gold lead feeling ornamental, bluntly.
Bin is the tool to get back into
this. Gonna head over towards it. There's still a few seconds left on Baytron, and this late in the game, it will go down swift enough.
Easily taken by anyone's legend. Dashing in. BLG do have 4 items on Misfortune now. 1 last item to be built up. Shanks has a death cap, though. God, this is gonna be so much damage. If he gets 1 moment to shoot, that could be it. Hope has flash and cleanse, not forced to blow either of them yet.
Trying to find an angle here. Elk coming on over, but that's just Knight flashing away. Does get the phase rush out. In they come with the TPs. Ongoing low. Finally, a public execution lands only on the Flandre, but he takes a lot of damage at this point from the Ambessa. Level 17. Rune prisoned again. Flash on forward. The double seismic shove. Bin trying to heal. Elk still now turning up. Beginning to auto. Brings down Shanks. Tarzan looking for an angle to Elk. Speared through the heart. The Queen of Bilgewater turned down into dust. Flash for the heroic charge into the seismic shove, but Tarzan ages himself, buys some time. Trying to jump away, will likely fall here, and they get another. How do BLG keep doing it? Knight can fly over for a double kill for Knight's Talia, and anyone's legend. They may have gotten ahead in
but it is Flandre's Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. Remember, AL don't have the Baron buff now to help them, and BLG are there first to the fight. Flandre is goddamn tanky, but Knight does have a death cap now, so his damage will be very hard if he can get some good DPS onto the Scion.
Baron 1 earned them 1,200 gold alone. This one loses them 700. Onto the Dragon we go. Flandre's coming on in. They want to secure this one. Soul point for BLG. In comes the Grand Starfall. Gonna try and turn onto Tarzan on solo. He's still alive. They're gonna try and take him before he gets in and steals it. Someone secure the Dragon. They do it, but around the rest of the play. Shove back. Elk in the pit. Doesn't have flash. Nowhere to go. He's gone. Bit of the backline, but it's onto Scion. He can't do that much there. Knight needs to try and TP out. Needs to find a way and does escape. All the while, Bin in the rack of the fight will give a triple kill over to Hope.
Anyone's legend lose the Dragon, but they win the fight in spades. Beichuan trying to clear the wave to make sure that anyone's legend can't end the game on this push. I think he will have done just enough, question mark. We shall see. Shanks, no flash, does have a realm warp to potentially put the one minion further towards the Nexus, and that's exactly what they're doing. They want to try and close things off. Knight tries to wall off the wave, but it's too late.
We're going to have 20 seconds still on Elk coming on up. I think they could just end the game. A momentary comeback is immediately turned into the unstoppable onslaught. Flandre puts on the afterburners and careens into BLG's hopes of coming back in this game. 2-0, anyone's legend, a step from glory.
BLG.
Like
Lulu, Sivir Lulu. Milio instead. Can cleanse out of the Skarner ultimate. Very good against the Skarner. I like this. Not many people playing the Milio right now. Lane for anyone's legend. Knight, oh, Knight, buddy. You need to be very careful. Someone's going to walk through that. You'll see them now. He'll start the E. Stun down. Oh, Knight in game 3. Match point. Goes for an emote battle against Hope and dies for...
BLG. This game, so far so quiet, with the exception of the unfortunate level 1 debacle from Knight. Front driving forward across away from the blast cone. Tarzan, Cyclones are going to turn this one around. Baseline now flashing on out. Portugal coming on forward. That was a very awkward fight. Now they're in a 5v3, and they're losing 2 members. BLG, what was the thought process? Shank flashes over and disintegrates another member. Knight flashes out, finally turning up, but it's too late.
Why did BLG think they could take that fight? Because Flandre teleports back. Anyone's legend out macroing BLG across the series yet again.
They're going to interrupt that. Looks reset as well. That was so frustrating. He doesn't have another charge, so can't knock him up with the volcanic rupture, but that's the end of it.
Elk not being at that fight. BLG, this is just capping off a string of bad macro decisions. Bin has teleported up, trying to catch up Flandre. Does have flash.
We'll get the flash off Flandre, but there's no ult on this. Orn could be in a lot of danger. I think they can keep hunting for this. Bin going to try and make this one work to the skies. Flashes over at least some. Can't quite get the auto.
Flandre is going to die here. It's just a question of how quickly. On coming up, no one else on his side of the map. The teleport from Bin will buy them a chance to get the kill and the plates after.
Bin trying to get the plates. Elk takes a lot of the damage. On gets the kill. It's easier that way. And we'll give that one over. Not necessarily the greatest target, but hey, work done. You've got the grubs and a wave.
Elk asked for them to get more resources to Elk, give him a more playable game. Potentially, this is the start of it. First turret taken for them.
Not to come on over in retrospect. I think it would have been very messy and given more over.
On, caught out again.
Potentially danger, but speeds himself up, begins to get the impaled. Tarzan caught out, gets cleansed out by the Breath of Life. Breath of Life now down. Knight looking for an angle, doesn't quite find it. Over goes Elk though, trying to find some other hope really low. Elk had the flash at the back end of it though. As the heals come on through, can't quite secure the kills.
Knight used his ultimate onto the Wukong clone, which meant he didn't get to steal a Cyclone either. Now, it doesn't actually end up changing anything because it wouldn't have given him the gap close he needed all the same. But you can see once in the Super Mega Flat Kick.
Huge moment. Tarzan goes into the Warrior Trickster. Nimbus strikes forward onto Bin. Flashes out of the corner of the Forge God of his own. Second Cyclone. Misses the knock-up. Does Flandre awkwardly. But the stun afterwards from the Incinerate brings down the Jace. Damage after though from Knight. Looking to find an angle. Impale on 3! Brings down Shanks. But the damage after not fantastic. Where is Elk? Trying to find some damage at the back end of it all as they've lost Bin as well. It's a great Impale, but the damage just isn't there. Flandre so tanky in the front line. Knight trying to get through a few more rotations. Looking for another engage. Misses the knock-up. Knight doesn't step into it. Isn't baited. Tarzan trying to step in himself, unbinds his soul with the Warrior Trickster, gets some more shots. Elk still free firing, but the melee on the back end of it. Kyle is brought low. Knight now in danger as Hope flashes on forward. The boomerang blades, the ricochets, BLG no skulls. BLG out skirmish when it matters the most.
Old Annie, where your Tibbers does a lot of burn damage. It's actually fairly little at this point. Big moment here. Roots into Blast Cone. On sends Flandre out of position. And Elk and Knight just get to keep ripping through them. Big moment after this as Tarzan overchases onto. Watch what happens here. So Elk ends up 1, 2, 3, and they're back on towards the Herald.
It's not stopping. Knight though steals the Cyclone. Driven into the wall is Tarzan. Trying to find his own angle. Trying to tail away that. Herald will not do so. Tarzan low. Cyclone comes on through. Gets the cozy campfire down. Breath of Life not quite up, but available. Shock Blast just wide. Elk trading onto Hope, who eats a lot of damage. Searing charge onto the corner of the wall from off vision. Won't tag Elk. The True Shot barrage wide as well. But BLG get the Herald they came for and come out looking like finally they are awake. They're in the lead in the early game.
BLG finally get that early fight. The Ezreal for Elk, the winning bot lane for them. They need to prove they can do that if they were to close this out. In a 3-0, they get that dragon. And BLG, this is the worry.
The job's not done. You need to finish the job. Triple tap, keep Knight down, or this kind of thing.
This is what BLG were meant to do when they brought in Beige1. Beige1 is just there to steady the ship and make sure these players get to play like this. Beige1 jumping forwards again, providing a go button, forcing out the ult from Kyle. Self-CCing, self-cleansing himself. You can buffer that slightly. Hope trying to push in mid lane, but he's not going to be able to take that much hate. Might be the case not getting one here. Anyone's legend. They've got a couple of monkeys to get off their back. And of course, BLG, they want to keep them there.
I'm not going to get the monkey into the back line. That might be the idea. The Cyclone from Tarzan will be important. Flandre has the ult stolen, flashes away. BLG never shy of pulling the trigger. Flandre in danger. Call of the Forge God. Empowered by all the AP. Flandre just about healed, buying some time. Can he run far enough away? He can. But now Tarzan also backing off. Get out alive, but my days. AL were sent running for the hills. Another TP to mid lane as the wave is shoved in.
Kyle blows that heal and showcases exactly how much healing Emilio can do. Teleport to contest the Atakan on no flash now. Tried to use that to catch out Flandre. Not able to do so. Atakan started.
because of the reset. The ult's burned. Anyone's Legend nowhere near in position to contest this after Khan. Elk trading out with Shanks. He was the one who TP'd mid again. Running it with the Ezreal to match this one. Flash in from Shanks. Gets the stun, but it's buying some time into the Tibbers. Still trying to run, buy some time. Get another arcane shift off. Can he get it? Does. Gets out safely. All the while, after Khan down to 1500 HP. Taken by Beijwan. But the turnaround is brutal on. Can't get the healing from the focus resolve. Under their tier 1. AL finally find a rebuttal after minutes of BLG dominance.
Elk, big mistake, trying to take the 1v1 versus the person with a point and click stun.
By himself here, across every ward under the sun. Knight, I don't think you can do this. The On the Hunt's coming. You have walked across 3 wards to make this play and have to immediately flash out. This is far too far. What on earth with this? He's a roaming lone knight, and he dies in ignominious fashion.
BLG do have the 3 grubs, though, and they will get an inner turret. If you can stop the recalls, I think BLG will still be happy with this. Well, okay, they'll be okay with it. There's nothing really...
the dragon.
Still BLG favored, but a reality check, as we like to say, that you can't just get away with fast and loose play like that.
Half until Dragon, Elk, and Beijwan 2-manning the Baron. It's off vision. They don't know.
I don't know, but anyone's Legend, it's not like they can really go forwards that easily. BLG wanted to force, they forced the teleport last time. AL, can they get close? Tarzan has Cologne, has Flash, but needs to get past the CC.
Forge Guard, just wide, but the Baron secured nonetheless. And they can look to go. That one I don't think was super mega flag, that was just best.
That one was just missed. No,
yeah, another third of Shank's HP goes down, you can't stand up and clear anymore.
Alex Ezreal, a pick to be feared. Not that far ahead of him.
He's at 3 items. I'm going down a list here, and it's a little bit concerning to look at. The Baron doesn't break the base, and this is only soul point. You can afford to wait some.
Yeah. Even if the Infernal Soul comes through, if you buy enough time for Sivir, it could be a huge difference. Tarzan still has the clone, goes into the Cyclone.
In comes the Call of the Forge God, but Finn's out of range. Let's get out to safety, sped up by the Karma. Damage back is pretty brutal as Tarzan kept alive by the cozy campfire, but doesn't really get to stay alive. He's gone for damage items, and it means he's not very tanky until that GA is completed.
Even with the Ornn items, even with the 3 items Sivir, can't quite get the damage down. The Karma actually having good value here from On. The Shurellius and the heal, keeping Bin topped up, and BLG escape what could have been a comeback fight for anyone's Legend as they try and utilize the last bit of their Baron buff.
Ornn just not tanky at the minute either, with only a Frozen Heart and Landing to spare. Things like this, Ezreal with the Shoji just chunks him through, really. That's without things like this Herald is available. Inhibitor turrets under siege in 2 lanes at once. Unable to stop the one in the bot lane and the mid lane, I think, will shortly fall after. BLG looking for more. Flash for the Impale. Immediately Breath of Life, but I don't know how many Brawl Breaths they've got. The water is rising. And anyone's Legend are drowning in this game.
Knights jumping forward for the call of the Fraud God as well. Maybe he'll hit it this time. We'll see. Maybe that's why.
Maybe every time towards the final inhibitor turret. The Call of the Forge God, someone with a regular God. It's a bit of a battle of pantheons of ideologies, and I think the Heretics might be winning it. Shanks has to back away, speeds himself up with the phase rush. He needs to back away, throws out an Incinerate that means very little.
Sivir was actually clearing the bot wave and then the mid wave. That's why they choose to take that time. 3 inhibitors down. Look, Sivir is pretty strong. I don't know if it's clearing 3 minions, 3 waves of super minions. Sivir teleport used. Was on wave clear duty. Again, has completed that Flame Horizon. And anyone's Legend, they're just saying, look, we have everything in Sivir back in. Knight looking for the engage.
Oh, it's a wonderful angle. The heresy of the Call of the Forgery God comes across. Flandre, though, trying to defend his Pantheon's rights. They try to get the engage. The Impale doesn't work. Goes Beijwan, but he's still bloody tanky. Sivir! Because Leash, they get rid of Beijwan. Jungler down. Knight now in danger. They re-engage on the Silas, who can't go in on the chains reinforce. Trying to teleport the jungle. Look at the back door. He's get back on in. Elk trying to buy space. Flandre in danger. Elk also doing some work. On heals himself up. Hope throwing up the boomerang blade. Flandre gets a knock on a bin. Final Nexus turret falls. Kills off Flandre. Finally, Nexus under siege. Flandre and Tarzan must stop the chase. Will it matter? Can they stop him? For half the HP. Stunned up! Ben is trying! 10% HP! And finally he's brought low! The minions! Oh god, the minions! Surely they can clear the waves!
Hope carries the team fight. He was given all the gold and they take it down to the very end of the wire. A Dragon has taken Infernal Soul off the map. BLG might still run at the Nexus. They have just enough wave clear to stay alive here. On this 3rd game, Sivir gets a full build off of that fight. They play this as close to the knife's edge as possible. They use it.
Rough, and the problem is BLG still get the Baron, still bear the Nexus. Every structure not named the Nexus.
Sivir can try and keep them alive. Tarzan caught out on a flank. He's going to get ulted. Misses from Beitron. Wall stunned back in. Going back in for the play, though.
Comes the call of the force, got Beitron flashes away. They engage onto Knight, goes golden, but he's split up from the team. I think he's dead. They've got him again.
They've got him again, and they're not close enough towards the Nexus. The Breath of Light use another kill for AL. Swaiting, scaling, the strategist, the grand strategist of the LPL.
Find another way back in. The Baron power play is negative, oscillating between next to nothing, and actually losing money. That's a horrifying thought. The Nexus, or the Inhibitor's still under siege. Call the Forge God trying to defend them. They don't want to give this one over. Elk hops away. Can they get in range? Elk in danger. Gets some decent autos. The exhaust, the redemption. He stays alive just about. All the while they have to back away. Knight gets the Inhibitor in mid lane. They get the one in top as well, courtesy of Bin and Knight, and the attempted punish on the 3-man unit doesn't quite come on free.
Yeah, BLG take 2 Inhibitors, and they do have no Sivir ult to worry about. Now Tarzan trying to catch out Knight, potentially have no Cyclone. Hope slowed down.
Tarzan in danger. GA still active. Loses 2/3 of his HP. Shanks eats a shot blast this late into the game. The Jace as well a problem. The respawned Nexus turrets. Weaker, but there. BLG in the base, speeding themselves up. They want this now. Anyone's Legend, can you hold any longer?
Hope regenning up with the Bloodthirster. Can't even take the break back towards the fountain. Skill shot
my God.
landing. That could be it.
They're going to keep hunting. In they go. Tarzan hints with the Warrior Trickster. A call of the Forge God again. Stolen by Knight. He misses the reactivation again.
Knight has been so off point in this series. Missing 3 on ultimates. Such an important ult to steal. Tarzan going forward.
They're going on top of base. Right, he's dead. Important pickup. Knight to the back end. He's on the next. But to what end? He's getting brought low. Kyle gets a kill. Big goes down. They're winning to find the base out. Trying to find missing shots. He missed one. Throwing it backwards. Hit by the Super Mega Flare Kick. Trying to play this one. But he's quite literally 1 versus 5. And he's not enough.
Anyone's Legend hold the line, and Bilibili Gaming now with 4 dead with only on the game, but Hope with the full build Sivir trying to deliver Anyone's Legend to the promised land.
They can get through the mid lane turret.
When Knight's up in 10 seconds, he has teleport. He might go for the end. If AL overstay, this could be it. They need to recall now. Flandre on the Nexus. The Nexus turret's actually quite hard to tell whether they're up or not. Scary as hell. Bin getting some poke down. Elk doing the same. The Inferno Soul helping. Hope is with them. That Sivir is everything for Anyone's Legend.
Elder down at half. Shirelius plus
Knight's going to the Nexus. Knight's going towards the Nexus.
Trying to get on top of it in the picture. Keep your eye on that as well. BLG trying to buy space. Tarzan scary, but going down. Knight on the Nexus. Altering away. Petra's high pass. Who cares? You can hit him. Call of the Forgery God when you can just win the game.
We go.
It's Cassiopeia. Vladimir both hovered, and it is the Cassiopeia, once known as Orochi, the great 8-headed serpent of lore.
Orochimaru. Quite hard to stop Galio from being able to respond. If you are in range from Miasma, you can throw the Miasma onto the Galio as he's charging up his ultimate. It will stop that, though, worth noting.
Be a bit challenging. While AL, though, with the shove from bot side, do manage to come over and date the dragon. Nice little shadow into the bush there to ensure that there was no Trundle waiting in the wings.
Going to be quite fine in individual matchups in this game. That opens up options for BLG. As long as Knight and Bin have some options for themselves, makes a difference. That being said, I mean, Tarzan's going to straight towards Bin.
Find the angle, waiting to see whether he can find something to work with. Throws down the shadows, hops forward, slow from that smite. In comes the Deathmark, looking for an angle, lots of damage back, gets the ult of the wall, but there's a flash on him from Shanks. And down goes the Gnar.
Been way too far forward. Users his flash towards their old standards, and Anyone's Legend have been putting them to the sword when they have made those mistakes.
TP's come on through. There's a ward there remaining, but that's the TP behind. Flandre now in danger himself. Needs to throw down the counter-strike. Does. Where do you run, though? Hops to the other side. Needs to keep walking, but I think he just dies. Good TP behind, and BLG punish. Didn't know the ward behind there to get thrown down the drain.
Yeah, so Flandre on the other side of it. He's caught out now. They do have 2 grubs, remember, so they can cross them up fairly effectively. 1 dragon for 1 dragon early on. Beitron able to chomp that one down and keep his team present in objectives.
Tarzan goes in and nabs some Raptor camps away. Go for anything like the Red buff.
Something like that.
He has been great on things like the Neferi, though, which we haven't seen this series yet, actually thinking about it. But try and do some of that carrying there. Take a slightly different role in the team. Kyle, for a little bit out by that pillar. Does eat half of his HP bar.
Harold started up. Kyle still has that ult, still has flash. You can pull it over the wall. It's a great hostile takeover angle.
Flashing on him for that hostile takeover. Bin finds a decent angle himself. Elk up into the air with a feather storm trying to buy some time. Tarzan goes back into the shadow. Bin dangerously low. Will surely go down. The feathers after the flash. Keeps people rooted in place. Shanks does not get the full ult well, but gets the shield. Double kill towards Tarzan, who gets the shadow again. He's going for the pentakill. Tarzan denied. lead.
Hope steals the pentakill as Tarzan clears through the fight in their hardest to play draft. Tarzan, the crownless king of the jungle, may have found the fight and the gold he needs to finally see silverware. BLG get routed at the Herald. They do get the objective, I believe. Yeah, it's in the inventory of Elk, but it just doesn't matter. Anyone's Legend get the reset on the Varus side of the map. We'll probably just let this turret go. BLG. Oh, how do they feel on stage now? The recent overlords of the LPL. A piece changed. A coach fired. A jungle changed out. There are no summoners for Anyone's Legend this time, but with so much extra gold, BLG will need to be very careful.
Comes the pillar, Hope in a spot of danger. The feather pull doesn't land, but the petrifying gaze does. In comes Galio, trying to keep the AD carry alive, but does so. Tarzan in the back line! Help get two! Now they need to run Bilibili Gaming to get out on the frozen domain, but they go for the pick, and it all goes so wrong.
Tarzan just absolutely massacres them. Is this season 3 or is this 2025? You couldn't tell me the difference between them. Bin gets the ultimate out of Flandre, but that will be a dragon going towards Anyone's Legend. And as we were saying, it's a hard comp to play. How do you win team fights as Anyone's Legend? They're proving us wrong. Turns out when you have a player like Tarzan in the jungle, sometimes it's jungle diff.
The Zahir and the Cassiopeia burn their ult. Suddenly, you've got a Jax and a Zed flying on in to punish your temerity. Flandre's coming topside. Bin low will knock out of the counter-strike with his own ult. In comes the TP of their own, but Kyle also here. Flandre in danger. Elk now about to come in and get involved. Bin caught by the winds of war. Handshake back. Shanks running away. It's a 1-for-1 in the end.
Now, Tarzan's not there at this fight, so he's not there to pull off those smooth moves. Again, pushing in mid lane. Tarzan... good roam up towards top side. Now, level 13 in the melee range. This is one of the points where the Zed mechanics really come out on top. BLG rushing the Atacon down. They do have the Cassiopeia. Good damage on the objective.
Here come the members of Anyone's Legend. Down to half HP. Bin and On also coming on down. Jax can TP and may need to do so soon. Down to 5k HP. Anyone's Legend still winning on a contest. Atacon still spawning. It's going to be a flip. Can you smell the burgers here in the potentially final game? Back to Consecute. The hostile takeover is brutalizing. Shanks a little bit deep. Needs to run away. Goes down into the bailout. Doesn't get to be brought back to life, but the health bar's so desperately low from BLG. Can they find some more? Shadow Knight to the backline. The petrifying gaze, but Flandre's not hit. He's not turned to stone. Flash for the counter strike. The mage is on, and he headshots the backline.
BLG try to take the Atacon, but all they find is doom. Tarzan
with on that one. He's having a fantastic game on this Renata as well. For all we've seen, a lot of flash and hunger from Tarzan. 8 times he has been here before. Finally, he might be getting it. Elk! Oh my god, the death mark. Not quite enough to bring him down, but he's down at 3rd HP. Base1 on also in a potential change of his position. The Shadow dash forward. Gets another. Can maybe reset to his own Shadow. Needs to back away. Not afraid. All the while, Bin not quite at the Mega. Hail of Arrows comes on down and will be forced to transform in short order. On now in danger as well. Knight throws down the Miasma, but unfortunately, I think it's just the Furor, the fugue of their own defeat looming in the background. The Shield of Durand. Knight throws out a petrifying gaze, but no one is fooled. Medusa fell by the Perseus of Anyone's Legend.
Knight turns to stone as potentially Anyone's Legend turn golden. 2 years ago, I sat and watched Tarzan lose his finals against JDG and Knight in the finals when he was on LNG. A year ago, he was on Weibo making a finals versus BLG. And now he has a 3rd chance against Knight to finally see golden in his 7th finals. Beitron's caught out. He will go down. Anyone's Legend, a team which I didn't expect to be here, which so many people didn't expect to be here, have truly earned this.
Handshake comes along. Tarzan murders the jungler. Beitron, I don't know how you were there. All you find is death.
Ward them out, though. Kyle doesn't have his ultimate. I don't think he necessarily needs it. BLG, I don't know what they do. I just don't know what they do. They're out of options.
Shanks. Would be so afraid he's on a really good flank angle. Looks to come around with Tarzan. They're going in while their angle's not fantastic. Shanks not coming in with the hero's entrance. Gets the knock up on. Damage is good onto Kyle. Cleanses himself. Bin doesn't land the wallop. All the while, Shanks and Tarzan on the backline. Throwing out shurikens. Good dodge away with the death mark. Gets the back away. Throwing out the shuriken. Goes back on the other side. Flash in. Bailar on top of it. Brought back to life. Hops on forwards again. He's just better.
Tarzan, look at the plays. Look at the moves. What was that? Tarzan, 9-0-7 on the mass.
Phenomenal moves.
His accuracy, his ability to understand where his shadows are so important. Knows he has the bailout. So often Zed is a one-way trip when you assassinate. Not here. It's all just a non-stop trip to the Nexus.
It's not a one-way trip, it's a one-way road. The Golden Highway. 10 years has this organization waited. 8 finals has Tarzan waited. It's so close they can taste it.
9-0-7. A Magi's on Shanks. BLG, so often a shoo-in for a title in the last year or two. So often assumed victors of the LPL. No longer so. Flandre, a world champion, an LPL champion. Seen better days individually. Not mention Shanks and Tarzan. This mid-jungle duo have been exemplary through this series.
Serpent's Fang done by Tarzan, by the way. There is no shield in the world that keeps you alive here. Andre forced the flash out of base front just with the counterplay. Pillared himself towards him and really regretted it.
Anyone's legend. I mean, so disgusting. How do BLG defend this? You know, typically you'd think that it's very good to play around the disengage of the Xayah and the Cassiopeia. They've not been able to protect their backline. You don't have Stacy's, you don't have Zhonya's, you don't have enough damage. What do you have? Tarzan, level 16, 2 levels up on Beitron. A player, I think his story is inspiring, Beitron, but he was never favored to beat Tarzan in the individual jungle matchup, and indeed he hasn't today. Tarzan, a good chunk onto Beitron.
Shanks knocks down the turret. Mid lane exposed. Anyone's legend on the verge of righting the wrongs of game 3. Try to turn on to the side of Flanders, just don't have the damage. Knight at 3 items, 3.5 items, and still can't deliver.
BLG, their early fights have been their undoing, even though it built their legacy. Been not caught by that taunt, but not able to protect the inhibitor either. Anyone's legend on the precipice of history. A team which no one expected to be here. If you followed them recently in the last year or two, they have deserved it so much as L takes another chunk.
Down to 20% HP, you can't stick around anymore. The arrow comes on, in comes Shank for the hero's entrance! Anyone's legend! Get on down to 5%. Flandre forwards, another inhibitor under siege. They're looking for the Nexus turrets.
The inhibitor being felled. Hope walking forwards. Oh, Hope, a player which has been so far away from this title for so long, returning to it potentially after so many years.
The first turret around the Nexus falls, the first brick to what could be the final end of this journey. The Golden Highway looks finally to be completed. Knight brought low. The king of mid in LPL is slaughtered. Anyone can be a legend, yes, but today, anyone's legend are.